Welcome to this week's edition of Wolves Weekly. I'm your host, Mark Colachico, the Director of Media Relations at Western Oregon University. I'm joined today by head football coach Arne Ferguson. Coach, it's been a while since you've been on. How are you doing?
Good. We're about ready to recap spring ball, and players are getting better. So it's been a pretty exciting spring, and so we're looking to see what we can do with our spring game at 4 o'clock on May 2nd.
And talk a little bit about spring practice so far. You guys have been going for about 4 weeks now. Talk a little bit about the progress of the guys, both offensively and defensively, and just give the fans a little overview of what spring is used for.
Spring is really our fundamental teaching time for all positions. Every players are getting pretty much equal reps. Don't get me wrong, we try to keep players healthy. That's part of that. So we don't decrease our performance because for someone to get hurt. But we feel like the injuries have been really minimized. The guys are in great shape. Corey Metzger does a tremendous job with them. And then we've had 2 really good scrimmages at Central High School. They were fortunate to use their facility. So it's been nice for our players to get that game speed that really we're trying to get them prepared for on our opening game against Humboldt.
And then talk a little bit about this weekend. You talked earlier that you're going to end the spring season with the 15th annual Red and White game, but you're going to start off first with a kids clinic. Talk a little bit about that kids clinic.
Yeah, first of all, our kids clinic's open to anybody. It's free. Our players are heavily involved. It's something our players really look forward to be involved with our community kids, and male and female, and just teach them basic fundamentals, tackling dummies, interact with our players, and then afterwards we'll have a little snack for them, and then also autograph session, so they can come and get an autograph from one of our players, and then we get ready to go for our game.
And for those listening, if anybody's interested in that kids camp, who do they contact?
Coach Miguel Gonzalez, and we have flyers out that's also posted on our website that has his email, and we just wanted to have everything up to date. But if it happens where it works out where you can just show up, we don't plan on it, we'll welcome that also.
Great. And then from the kids clinic, like you say, the kids are going to get an opportunity to meet and greet with the guys. But then once that's all done, you're going to roll right into your spring game, and that's going to start at 4 o'clock. Talk a little bit about what your expectations are there, kind of the format that you're going to use.
Our expectations is for all our players to play well. We feel that they've gotten significantly better. We're not where we need to be. I think overall the summer training will really be the telling tale, but I really like the progress of our O-line. That's an issue that we needed to work on. Obviously, we're in the process of replaying Ryan Bergman, who's an All-American. It's very hard to do, and replacing Tyrell Williams, which is very hard to do. So we feel some guys are stepping up to that level, and I always got to remember Craig Akins did everything for us on defense. That we're seeing some things from George Schwartzlanger, from Jeremy Moore that are not at that level where Craig was mentally and physically, but they're doing some really good things also.
And then Saturday is going to be another big day for your program potentially. You've got an NFL prospect that you're trying to replace in Tyrell Williams. And talk a little bit about him as a person. 4 years here, started out as a scrawny little kid from Salem area to now he's on a lot of guys' boards. Yeah.
And we had 3 seniors last year that we felt were as good as anybody in our conference, and no one had 3 type of players that we had. Azusa Pacific had their running back, who's also probably might be drafted also. But Craig Akins, dominant. He's already working in police, already been hired in law enforcement in Eugene, which is awesome for him. Then we have Ryan Bergman, who 2-year starter, tremendous records, and actually did his senior year without even taking a snap after the first game. Then Tyrell Williams, who's a 4-year starter, that every year he increases ability and his performance, and also a tremendous track athlete also. So Tyrell has a tremendous upside, tremendous work ethic, a very good person. We expect him to have an opportunity to be in someone's camp. We're not as concerned whether he gets drafted or not, because we've had so much interest in obviously he wants to. There's no question that's a dream of anybody's that plays football. But there's so much interest from teams that like big receivers, and he's really noticed and on their board because of his pro day at OSU and also his ability.
And then you know, we kind of flipped the page a little bit towards next year. First time since 2009, we're going to have 6 home games at MacArthur Field. You know, we're going to start first off in mid-September with Simon Fraser, but talk a little bit about the schedule. I know last year there was only 4 home games, so a little significant jump from last year.
Yeah, since I've been a head coach, it seems like we've been on the disadvantage of home games compared to our competitors. And our games are so close all the way through. The home field advantage is a big advantage. Azusa Pacific last year had they had 7 home games, 7. So we're fortunate to have 6. I really think it will help our players to be in a familiar situation, but also the amount of stress that you endure during football, that little extra edge really means a big difference as the season progresses.
And you guys showcased that last year, like you said, talking about home games, home field advantage. You went 4-0 at home, so hopefully you'll roll that over to next year and kind of have a 7th pseudo-home game. You guys get to play up at Portland State again next year.
We're very fortunate for that to work out. Bruce Barnum really helped us out with that situation where they needed a game that came up late. We've been pushing hard, and we're excited to be in Oregon. It's only an hour and a half away, but our players are excited to see what they can build on off of last year's game. And you saw some tremendous performance by Ryan Bergman, obviously, and our receivers. And defensively, we have to get better. So it's really a test for us. I think it's game 4 that we play Portland State. But really that first game with Humboldt, a conference game at their place, is going to be the telling issue where we have to prepare against a very tough place to play and a very good opponent.
Well, like we say, Coach, we wish you guys good luck this week as you wrap up spring ball. Fans, be sure to check out the spring game this week at MacArthur Field. That starts at 4 o'clock, but don't miss the kids' clinic before at 1:30. That is free to the public. Go ahead and bring your kids out age 3 all the way up through 8th grade. But, Coach, as we said, good luck this week. You know, got Wolves, go out and get them. We'll see you again next year, and as always, go Wolves.